Imagine the silence in the Newcastle locker room when the realization hits that their $1.4 million savior might already have one foot out the door toward Bondi. The golden boy of the hunter, Kalyn Ponga, is at the center of a storm that could reshape the NRL hierarchy forever. We aren't just talking about a standard contract negotiation, we are talking about a seismic shift that would see the Knights' foundation crumble while the Sydney Roosters build a new empire on their ruins. For months, the whispers were dismissed as white noise, but as we sit here in late 2025, those whispers have turned into a deafening roar that suggests the unthinkable is becoming inevitable. If you want to stay ahead of every player move and every backroom deal that changes the game, you need to subscribe to all sports updates. Right now, the air in the hunter has grown heavy with a specific kind of dread as the 2025 season concludes with the Knights holding a wooden spoon they never expected to touch. While Kalyn Ponga has publicly stated his commitment to the red and blue, the reality of a 17th place finish is a bitter pill that no Dally M medalist wants to swallow during the peak of his career. Sources close to the situation suggest that while the arrival of Dylan Brown was meant to be the ultimate lure to keep Ponga, it may have inadvertently signaled the beginning of the end. The salary cap at Newcastle is stretched to its absolute breaking point, and with the Roosters clearing a massive war chest following the impending retirement of James Tedesco, the financial and competitive lure of Bondi is a shadow that refuses to leave Ponga's doorstep. It is a classic tale of a superstar caught between the loyalty he feels for a city that loves him and the burning, desperate need to hold a proven summons trophy before his knees give out. The Roosters have always been the silver tails of the competition, the masters of the big money swoop, and Nick Politis doesn't enter a race unless he intends to win it. Think back to the signings of Sonny Bill Williams or Cooper Cronk. When the tricolours identify a whale, they rarely miss their mark. With Joseph Manu and Joseph Swali already out of the picture, there is a gaping, superstar-sized void in the Roosters' backline that only a player of Ponga's freakish athleticism and ball-playing ability can fill. The strategy is clear, they are looking at 2028 as the year of the rebirth, but the pressure is mounting for an even earlier intervention. If Ponga feels the Knights' rebuild under Justin Holbrook is stagnant, the temptation to request an early release becomes a ticking time bomb. Every missed tackle and every losing streak at Newcastle acts as a recruitment poster for the glamour of Sydney's eastern suburbs. For the latest breaking news and deep dives into the stories that matter most, make sure you're following all sports updates. Wait, did you hear that? That was the sound of the Newcastle faithful collectively holding their breath as reports surfaced of Ponga's camp meeting with high-level recruiters in Sydney just last week. This isn't just speculation anymore, it's a high-stakes game of poker where the stakes are the future of two of the league's most historic clubs. If Ponga stays, he is the king of a city, a legend who chose the hard road over the easy glory. But if he goes, he becomes the centerpiece of a Roosters juggernaut that could dominate the late 2020s. The Knights management is reportedly scrambling to put together a lifetime extension offer that could reach $2 million a season, a figure that would make him the highest paid player in the history of the sport. It's a desperate, last-ditch effort to keep the lights on in Newcastle, but money isn't always enough when a player's legacy is on the line. There is a psychological element here that many are overlooking, the All Blacks factor. Ponga's father, Andre, has never hidden the fact that European rugby and the lure of the New Zealand jersey are still on the table. This creates a three-way tug-of-war that leaves the Knights in a position of extreme vulnerability. If they push Ponga too hard to commit, they risk him walking away to Union. If they don't push hard enough, the Roosters will slide into his DMs with a contract and a premiership-ready roster. The tension within the Newcastle front office is palpable, especially with young gun Fletcher Sharp waiting in the wings. Some analysts suggest the club should cut their losses now, bank the $1.4 million in cap space, and rebuild from the ground up. But losing a gene-rational talent like Ponga to a direct rival like the Roosters would be a PR disaster from which the club might never recover. The fans are divided, the media is circling like sharks in a feeding frenzy, and at the center of it all is a 27-year-old fullback who holds the entire balance of the NRL in his hands. Every Instagram post he shares is scrutinized for clues, and every trip to Sydney is treated like a state secret. The Roosters aren't just offering a contract, they are offering a chance to be the face of the most professional organization in rugby league, a chance to play behind a forward pack that won't leave him stranded, and a chance to finally silence the critics who say he can't win the big one. As we approach the 1st of November deadline for 2027 negotiations, the clock is ticking louder than ever. The hunter is praying for a miracle, while Bondi is preparing for a coronation, and the next few months will determine if the Knights' crown jewel stays in the treasury or finds a new home in the big city. The saga of Kalyn Ponga is more than just a transfer rumor. It is a battle for the soul of the Newcastle Knights and a testament to the ruthless ambition of the Sydney Roosters. Whether he stays and fights for the city that adopted him or leaves to seek glory in the glitz of Sydney, the fallout will be felt for a decade. One thing is certain, the NRL landscape is about to change, and the shockwaves will be felt in every corner of the game. Don't miss a single second of this unfolding drama. Hit that notification bell and stay locked in with all sports updates. For the final verdict on the biggest move in rugby league history, would you like me to create a similar script focusing on a different NRL star or perhaps a different sport?